Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Mending Threads. And this is your safe place and your stronghold for whole body wellness. And today we know that it's basically back to school day and back to work and engagement. So we don't know whether you're going to be virtual or whether you're going to be in the classroom face to face. Some of you are be at learning centers. But today we want to talk about something very important. When you return to school, we all return to situations with our thinking and our believing about who we are and what we're expected to do. One of the things that they found is that when they looked at success behaviors and people that tend to be completers and do well on their work environment and on their jobs, of those people who believed that they needed to do their best when they arrived, that they needed to prepare prior to getting there, and that they needed to listen empathically and thoroughly to the person who's speaking. What we're saying is that there are behaviors, success behaviors, that we'll talk about both from a parenting point of view and from a student or an employee point of view. Preparation is the most important thing. Preparing your thinking for getting to a place, for entering an environment, kind of settles the body and removes the body from an adjustment situation. When we move from one environment to the other, the body is going through some type of stress or change physiologically and emotionally. So psychologically, we begin to think of things. Our thoughts influence how we feel about situations. So if we have a pleasant or a happy atmosphere, and we also have pleasant thoughts about the environment that we're about to enter, as well as the one that we're leaving, then our adjustment is a little bit smoother. So, what can we do? So, one of the things that we want to do when we get up in the morning is we want to have an attitude of thankfulness. And we want to really recognize that we were able to wake up in our beds and have a roof over our head and all of those kinds of things. It sets the emotional tone. They call them emotional tone setters for the day. We want to begin to, secondly, look at the environment as an opportunity, whether it's a work environment, a school environment. This is an opportunity for us to achieve our goals, to complete tasks, and to really find out new things about us, new things. So look at it almost as a challenge for something new to be able to engage. So some of the things that we talked about before and in our group as well is that we needed to pay attention to our structure of getting ready. Some people wait till the last minute to awaken, which means that you're going to have setting the tone for a more stressful circumstance. And but if we get up early enough, where we can kind of do a little meditation, get ourselves prepared for work or school, then we want to do the hygiene, and then keep a routine about it. So these are little steps that we're going through this morning that's going to help set the day. So your hygiene, your face, your shower, your brushing your teeth, cleaning. Now make sure that when you do this, I know moms, you're doing this, that they clean the face basin and their areas as they are getting dressed. And this is something in our group, our school prep groups, that we're teaching, that you're responsible for leaving the area in which you use for the next person or another person or your loved one. So once you do, you get up, you brush your teeth, you clean the face basin, put all of your items back, and you do self-checking for your clothing to make sure that your clothing are appropriate for the situation. Now, we know we had a little class and circumstance on that, and we know that there are styles, but we looked at the idea of whether or not your body parts were covered. Okay, because in school, hygiene wise, we want certain body parts covered. So some people think it's real sexy for the top part to be bulging. but we're not going to have our body parts bulging, are we? Okay, because it's distracting. Next thing, key, we want to what? Have a good breakfast. Not too much, okay, but a breakfast that's going to have good protein, and our chef is going to come on shortly and tell us all about it. But we want to have a good breakfast, not too much sugar, to get ourselves ready for the day. And when we eat our breakfast, what are we going to do? What are we doing now? We're getting ready to eat breakfast. We are going to clear the table, set the table for eating, eat our breakfast, and clear the table and put everything back in its proper place. We talked about a few sessions ago in our group, those of you that are listening, is to complete affirmation statements to your children, mothers and fathers. And children, you were going to make a list of your affirmation, things that you could say to yourself to keep yourself motivated when tasks are difficult. And we're going to, for example, I begin and I end things well. Whatever I start, I finish. I am going to listen to everything that is said because there may be a nugget in there for me. So there are things that we will practice during our sessions um, on Thursday evenings. Um, you want to review your daily chart. We're going to have a chart up so that we can have all of our tasks that we must complete listed on the refrigerator or on a board. And we want to review them that morning to see what is it that I might have forgotten the night before that I must add to the board. And so we're going to review and complete our motivating statements, review our activities to see if we have all of the materials that we needed. Because we know that when we get in our class and we don't have everything that we need, then we're frustrated and we have anxiety about our work and we start erasing and not feeling sure about what we're doing. And we want to keep our mind on that. We want to make sure that any homework that is needed, if you didn't do it the night before, you want to make sure that you get all the signatures that you need so that you can hand in your work when you return to school. And so, parents, one of the things that I want to talk about is if we could have an agreement that what you would do is you would review your child's work before they leave and the night before, but before they put their work in their bag. So review and ask, do you have all your signatures so that you can turn in your homework? And also look online because most schools have online the child's homework or your child's homework assignments. Just to encourage them to say, I know you think maybe they're a little older and they need to take care of that themselves, but maybe a little encouragement like how did that play come out? How did you do on your assignment? And you would know something about the assignment. It's a feeling of inclusion and that everything is everybody's together in this situation. Um, Remember this: if you agree to do something, you want to do it. Okay, your bond, your word is your bond, and you want that's another thing you want to practice that. Now let's just talk about preparing for this day. On last night, how many of you looked at TV until you fell asleep? This is what I want you to know. That if you looked at TV, then you most likely would be tired this morning because the TV actually is taking your energy away. Okay, through your senses, the light is draining your energy. Your neurotransmitters are firing. You see, your little nerves are firing. And so, one of the things for a calming, peaceful sleep to be ready for this day in a better way would be to go to bed and prepare for bed an hour earlier than bed, taking your shower, your bath, laying out your clothes, and preparing for all of the items that you need, making sure your homework is done. And then what did we just say? We said that you would complete your homework, talk to your parents about the homework, review it, get all homework signed. You would do all your chores, the after school chores. You would put your homework next to the door prior to having any free activities. You would complete your homework, have your snack during your homework or before, put your homework beside the door if you're leaving out of the door or in your special place. All of your coats, scarves, jackets, and everything will be somewhere on a hook so that you will have it prepared for the day. And then at night, when you're preparing, you've had dinner, and your clothes are beside the door, then you want to then help with dinner and preparing your lunch for the following day. Okay, and so now can you see how calming it is and preparing for that day? And parents, what I want you to do in the evening is really encourage and prepare dinner at home. Sit at the table with your children, and all of you youth, please sit at the table and talk with your parents about your today. Include them in your life. Let them know one little thing that you did that was fun for you, difficult for you, or interesting to you. Okay, and then we would avoid many electronic games and try to do a little bit more board games to create creative thinking and logical thinking, and instead of just eye-hand coordination or thoughts. And then this inclusion with the parents within the game and help it to think and share your values and your ideas. Um, and parents, please, I've made a note for myself to say this. Most of the young people that I speak with in either therapy sessions or coaching sessions, they tell me that they get to school and they forget things and they feel frustrated, or they left something and the parent has to bring it to school. They left the lunch. So one of the things is to please have a citing checklist before you walk out the door. You're teaching them and you have it. So all of you together go like, I have my pens, pencils, books, cell phones, keys, and people are checking. When you check for things in the same place at the same time, it sets a success routine. And this is what we're talking about, steps for a successful routine. Now, those are habits of preparation, habits of preparation. Now, there are also things about habits of relationships and habits of way we think. Let's just talk about that a little bit. When we go to school, we're going to have friends, we're going to have associates. There's some rules about how to set boundaries and how to develop a relationship with those new people that you meet, and also reclaim relationships or renew relationships of our old friends. Now, here's what we need to do. There are rules about that. When you speak to someone, a young man told me the other day, is that he just didn't want anybody to say anything to him in the morning. Well, one of the things is that when you see someone, if you're having a bad day, you would really like to wish another person, if you don't have it, to wish another person a good day. It helps you sustain a better mood or get into a better mood, but also it's not that you're saying it's a good day for you, you're wishing the other person a good day. And the other is to remember that some people are a little timid and they're not as social as you. And so you may want to pay attention to touch as to asking a person whether you can stand in their space. In a sense, you do that non-verbally. So when you're speaking, someone asks me, how do you know how close to stand to a new person? So you think about a circle around that. and you think about 2 steps or 3 steps. So you want to stand 3 steps away from the individual unless they move toward you. And then if someone moves in your inner space and you feel very uncomfortable, then you are able to step back and say, that's just my space. Okay. And so it's more about respecting, learning how to respect your space and the other person's space. So the other thing is that we want to look at problem solving. First day of school, generally there are many uncomfortable situations and problems that occur. And remember, when you're looking at problem solving, you want to hold back and rethink the situation. If something happens, you do not want to respond and try to avoid, rather, responding from your emotions only. You want to think, what are they trying to say? And begin to look at what the person is saying from two or three other points of view. Let me see if I can give an example. This is a real ugly scene. I think the young man said, this was a real ugly scene. Immediately he thought he was talking about him in his space. And what he was really, so could he, when someone says that, could he have been saying coming back to school is uncomfortable? Or could he have said that I'm really not comfortable with the clothing that I have on today? Could he have been saying that he went off and left his dog and he wanted to bring his dog to school? So the real ugly scene, to tell the truth, when the argument occurred and the person felt uncomfortable, he was saying that he did not want to wake up and come to school that morning. The young man took it as if the ugly scene was him, and that's how the confrontation began. So what we would like to do first is stop, think that someone else could be saying 1, 2, or 3 or something else, but of course it probably doesn't have to do with me. Let me ask, what is the bad scene? Let me find out what it is prior to my responding and my saying something. Now remember, we talked about in our previous class, previous session on Thursday, many of you are tuned in today, is that there are 3 ways that you want to parts of a confrontation. You want to, when you're talking to the person or speaking about it, you want to describe everything around you, everything that brought you to feeling the way you feel. Then you want to describe how you feel. And then you want to ask for what it is you want. So let's just take the prior situation. In the situation with this is a real ugly scene, it would be, rather than when you say it's a real ugly scene, it really makes me feel uncomfortable. I was feeling uncomfortable. I was feeling uncomfortable because I thought it meant me or you were speaking about me. I really wish when you speak like that you would describe what it is that you're speaking of. If you're speaking of the room, the environment, or the smells, or whatever it is, I would appreciate that. So now the person, when they're with you, they know how to speak to you, and they know how to speak and describe the situation. The other thing is that helps you become more precise, because we found that people who are real good at school and at work are more precise about situations. They describe things in detail. They express fully what they're asking and what they want. And the next thing is that they listen very carefully. Sometimes people, and we as people, we hear what we want to hear. We listen to the nouns, or we listen to the emotions that the person is expressing. So one of the things with listening is to take you out of the situation and try to feel what the person is feeling that's speaking, and listen to the words that they're speaking, and try to find out if in fact what you hear is what they say. So you may ask, are you saying that this environment is difficult for you? um, you may ask what it is that you want to know, and then you may describe what you thought you heard, and then the person has an opportunity of responding to you. These are things that actually bring you closer to an individual, and the person then knows that you're sharing the same idea and the same feelings that they're experiencing. So it brings you closer to that situation, to their situation. The other thing that we wanted to do is to be spontaneous sometimes, and be spontaneous with trust, learning to trust and learning how to trust. So if you meet someone, you want to be very careful of telling everything you know about everything you did within the first few minutes. So one of the things that you want to do is to slow down for a minute and think about what you enjoy about talking, how you enjoy talking with the person. What is it that you love to hear from this person when they're talking about going to the park, talking about making something? Um, I have a lady who makes beautiful, a relative who makes beautiful cards. And so she brought me these cards. I wish I could grab one so I could show it to you. And she made it. It's handmade out of beautiful fabric, and she took the detail of it. So I couldn't wait to share um, my appreciation for her making the card, thinking about her making the card, and letting her know how I felt when I received the card. So it's being in the moment with that person and being spontaneous about sharing your feelings. Um, and I shared with her that I had a little tear in my eye that she made this card just for me and took the time to specially design it for me. Okay. And it was at a moment in time that brought really newness for me. And so the other thing we want to talk about is how health, your thinking, the good, healthy thoughts that you have will take you to eating behaviors, slowing down whatever you're doing. So we're now thinking about mind, body, and our spiritual self, and sharing that and being spontaneous. I see that we have our chef. She's ready for our back to school menus, and she has shared, and we'll have posted um, some back to school menus. So you're sideways there. I can't see you.
Really? What? I don't know why.
Okay, well, let's see. We
Let's
probably have to
see.
turn it around a little
Okay,
bit.
hold on. Let's see. Edit audio avatar. Let's see. Okay. No, 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 no. Uh, uh,
Well,
let me go back.
maybe to show the menu in a different way, though.
Let me go back out and come back in.
Okay, well, and while she's getting set up, let's just kind of summarize what we talked about. So what we were talking about, when she comes on, she's going to talk about the nutrient part of it and the food prep. So we were looking at behaviors that would bring us to a whole body wellness. Our thoughts, how we prepare ourselves to enter a situation, the thinking, our emotions, how we need to reinterpret things, look at things, rethink things, situations, behaviors, and things people say, words that they say prior to responding. And then looking at some key things that we're responsible for, listening and speaking to other people, setting the environmental tone and making it rich for ourselves that day. And remember this is your day, and you want to make it all that you can make it be. We were given this day. So we want to do everything that we can to be the best little person or the best big person today, whether we're returning to school or returning to work. Now I know that our chef had some really nice recipes that were sent that are posted for us that we as parents and grandparents will be able to um, prepare easily, and also our children can prepare. And one of the things we want to always think about is not just eating the food, but making sure that the food um, is going to do something to heal the body, fuel the body for that day. Now, I do know that there's certain things that we can eat, and we feel like we can think better. And generally, it's like protein for me. And when I eat vegetables and fruit in the morning, it makes me feel a little better. And also the night before, if I eat better for school the next day, when I refreshed eye feeling, my eyes feel really fresh and clear and ready for that day. So I think that the chef is going to talk about the best preparation of food for that day. So, chef, let's see where we are with our menu. So maybe we could see the menu posted. Well, since they're having some technical difficulties of getting on, what we'll do is we'll begin to look at thinking and preparing your work independently. So you want to make sure I was going to go into that before we started with the chef. So you want to make sure that you do as much of your work on your own, because what this is going to do is going to help you with sustaining your behaviors. All of the things that you have learned to do, it will help you know that you can do it. It develops this self-esteem, this self-confidence. So when you set up your work and you begin to work, you do it on your own. It doesn't mean that you can't ask for help. It means that you want to see how much of your work you can do, and then write your questions on a separate piece of paper with a number, so you could say, "Wonder why is this? Do I perform this um, operation in this manner, or how do I correct for this factor?" And then that way you can ask for help, and you can be more specific about the help that you're asking. The other area is that you want to be innovative. So one of the things that I found is working with the young man that I spoke about is that he was afraid to express himself. He was afraid that he was going to be wrong. And so we talked about, how do people invent? How do they create? And when he began creating and inventing options for his work, following directions, being independent, but creating a different way of thinking about the situation, what he was able to do is to create a whole another story. And so we started doing storytelling in order for him to remember his assignment. And then we found that that worked very well for him. And so this is a way of keeping memory, remembering all of the things that you have to do, but also remembering English rules, remembering mathematical formulas. Um, so we want you to come up with things, a rhythm, raps, music, and which when you join our enrichment program that we have on Thursday evenings, and we're also having during the day and the afternoon, um, and I'm looking forward to that, you will be able to go through some of the exercises with us. So let me just tell you about the enrichment activities. We are working with some of the churches in the area, and the churches in the area have set up certain outreach sites. And what we have done is learning, I think, learning centers. And we have developed, by request, some enrichment programs for music, drama, um, activities, um, poetry, storytelling, all of those areas, so that it will help you be more successful and also help you begin to understand how to handle various different situations that you may encounter and develop a more meaningful and successful behavior for everything that you encounter. We also look at how to initiate and complete tasks, how to engage in circular thinking, um, and how to solve puzzles, and how to create and invent. And we also are doing cooking classes, a part of our enrichment program. So the chef will be preparing nutritious meals, and you will be able to be a part of the Young Chef program. So I'm looking forward to you engaging with us. I don't know if the chef can get back in, um, but I'm looking for you to do that. So now let's talk about how you're going to prepare your lunches for the week. How many of you prepare your meals in the evening? I remember when I was growing up, I would prepare my lunches the night before and have them all ready to go for the next day. And the only thing that I needed to put in there was something that was perishable. And I love for my mother to prepare my lunch because she would always put a secret note in our lunch or some secret information. Yes. So we're all there. So what do we have for our school lunch today? And can you tell us a little bit about it? So we
Yes.
have with us this morning our own chef Shirley Kelly with Soulstice Cuisine, and we had a little technical difficulty this morning. So
And I'm
let's see
having
what
to
we have.
hold, yeah, I'm having to hold my phone. Uh,
Okay.
so um, so we're gonna go into the menus. Um, I organized about one, two, three, four, five, six menus for back to school. Uh, so the first one, I mean, really, it's not a real uh, difficult thing to do. I mean, everything here can be done the night before, and the children can also assist with the prep. Okay. The first one is just a simple turkey bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. And the ingredients, I'm sorry, the uh, the rest is veggie chips, and you can always have fruit with uh, the lunch.
So is there a guiding principle to have to have uh, four, 3 or 4 different things, like having vegetables, fruits?
Right, you're gonna
Are you
have your
trying to balance?
protein. Right, you need your protein, you need your veggies, okay, and you need something that like a chip, something that a bread or chip.
Like a carb?
So you need a grain. You need a grain.
Yes, a grain.
And also you need fruit. Fruit is very important because it's raw. It's going to keep the children alert. It's going to keep their brains functioning. Uh, and also like a almond, like a Nature Valley bar, energy bar, because what those energy bars do is they are very filling. It's going to keep them energized. And it's going to keep them full uh, until dinner time. A lot of times, they can just eat that energy bar and they're set for the day. So that, and so uh, the turkey bacon lettuce tomato sandwich with a whole grain bread. Okay, I didn't say wheat. I said whole grain. Whole grain is much better. Uh, a whole grain bread is much better.
Does it say on the thing, or does it say on the package whole grain, or does
It
it
says
say
whole
multi
grain, and you can
multi
look at
grain?
the top of the bread and you see the little grain, little nuts and grains on top of the bread. So that's better than regular bread. Again, so with the fruit, you can have mango and apples. Apples are very good for children because it keeps the brain stimulated. It keeps them focused uh, during the day. It helps them a lot, when they're in class. It keeps them alert. Also, apples are very good for. I mean, it has filled with vitamin C, and so therefore it it deals with the immune system.
And it has good fiber. The last time you were telling us about the fiber.
The fiber as well is excellent. Uh, so you want to give them apples, just and have them eat the whole apple, the skin and all, because it's very nutritious.
And I
So
remember you telling us to wash the apple really well.
right, you have to
Uh,
wash it very well, exactly, because it has a lot of that wax on it. Uh,
toxin.
yeah, so you want to, the best wash to get is like a veggie wash. You can get the wash at Whole Foods. You can get them at HEB. Okay, and you just spray it. Just spray the apple, the outside of the apple, and just rub it and rinse it really well. Uh, so that that'll clean it, and that way you can eat the skin and all.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So the second menu is just a simple peanut butter or almond butter with bananas, and it's excellent.
It
It's
really is.
also
I've
filling.
had. I know. I've had that. That's good. Uh huh.
Uh-huh. And most children like it because when I was growing up, when I was little, I used to love to go in and fix a peanut butter, put that banana, sliced bananas, and put it on top of there, and in between some bread, and it's just very very filling.
Yes.
So I think that's something that the children, especially the smaller children, would enjoy eating. Also, you can get some kind of organic chip like a sweet potato chip or uh, banana, not banana chip. They have so many different types of veggie chips that you can purchase.
I know my mother
Um,
used to have. I used to love to open my smell it. To open my, she would make a chicken sandwich, whatever dinner. Like if we had chicken or turkey or
Something
something,
the night before.
she would have that with a little cheese on it, and
Hmm.
that would be
So
one
that's
sandwich
good.
with pickles and stuff on there. And then she
Exactly.
would
So,
have. She used to can, so
oh yeah, yeah.
she would make her own jelly, and
Hmm.
so she would have like, no, people don't know about dewberry, but she would make dewberry jelly or different mulberry jelly,
Oh, I know, I
and
know, I know about that.
and
Yeah.
then you would have that with peanut butter, and then she put
Hmm.
slice some little bananas real thin in there, and that would be your peanut butter
Exactly.
jelly and
So
bananas.
right. So we're gonna have to go back to the old school way of preparing anyway, because they're messing with our foods, So we're gonna have to really be very selective, you know,
Yes, yes.
purchasing our food. So the next, so and then with that they can have like a just a nice little applesauce. Going back to the apple, applesauce that is is really good. It will keep them
So now
alert.
the applesauce that they are they making this applesauce? Are they buying it? Is it a better one to buy than?
Yeah, there's one out. It's called Mott. I think that's the only one that I can think of that's really good. Mott, Motts,
Yes.
Mott applesauce, and they
Hmm.
have like they're different flavors. They have some with cinnamon in it, which is
Yes.
really good. Uh, so and then also they can, in addition to that, they can have an energy bar that they can snack on during the day rather than munching on candy and cookies and all that. Uh, so that would be good. So and then okay, so the next one is a chicken hummus roll ups. Um, and that's also really good. Just sliced chicken, spread some hummus on there, put it on a little maybe um, pita bread or um, a tortilla and just roll it. And it's excellent. So you can just purchase hummus at the store and just add your little added flavors to it because sometimes I
Yes.
find that the hummus that you purchase at the store, may not be as flavorful, so you want to add your little flavors to it. Also, Sunshine's health food store and deli, they
Yes.
sell the best hummus that I have
Yes.
ever
They
tasted.
do. They do. They do. They do. I wonder if
So
they
you
make
can
it there.
go.
Hmm.
That they make it. They
They
make the
make it
hummus.
there because it sure tastes
Yeah,
fresh and good. Mm.
it's always fresh. So yeah, so you can run by Sunshine's, pick up some hummus, and and you're good. And you can also serve that with carrot sticks. Carrot sticks is a good source of vitamin A, vitamin C. It will keep them again because it's raw. It's a raw veggie. It will keep them alert. It will keep their brains functioning. Okay, throughout the school day. And also the fruit kebabs. A good fruit kebab with grapes and kiwi and orange slices. Just going, just kind of stick that inside of a little, skewer.
Did
And
you make one? Did you make one today?
oh, I sure didn't.
Didn't know. Maybe. Well, when we do our, we're getting ready to do our um, enrichment program for the churches that we've been working with, and so they'll be doing the learning centers, and then we're working with the schools that they have on there. So we
Mhm.
for the youth chef
Uh-huh.
program and the parents program, we're going to do cooking classes.
Okay.
So just remember
Yeah.
that
So
that's
yeah,
yeah, that's one that we
I
can
can
do
do
for the
one.
young people. Yes, yes.
And they look so beautiful. Remember when we were doing the church on was it on Holman?
Trinity United.
Not Trinity, the little small church that has the little
Oh,
center across the street.
Beulah Land,
Beulah.
Beulah Land. Yes.
Yes, we
Oh,
did
the
the fruit
children really
kebabs with
got
them, and
into
they
that
so
then.
enjoyed it.
Yes. Yes, they
They
sure
enjoyed
did.
it.
Do you have
Hmm.
pictures? Do you have pictures of that? Any pictures of that from there?
I do. I have them on my at home on my computer.
Can you send me some, please?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
some with you in there, and then some with
And
the
then
kids. Okay, very good. Because we're
yeah.
trying to get them up there on the website.
Oh, okay.
Okay then. Mm.
And okay, so in addition to that, they can also have another Nature Valley. Nature Valley, they have those fruit bars, those nut bars that come in different flavors, you know. Uh, so you can give them a variety of that. Uh,
Okay. Hmm.
uh, and the next one is okay. It's called a leftover pizza roll up. So this is like, like if you had pizza the night before and you have some left over, just slice the little edge off of it, the big edge, uh, and just roll it. Give them a couple of maybe three roll ups, pizza roll ups, and put it in their lunch. And
That's
they can
right.
have that again with veggie chips,
Uh-huh.
um,
Some
and fruit.
uh-huh.
Again, you can have apple slices.
Uh,
Get them used to eating those apples.
now I know a lady that takes the pizza stuff off of the pizza, take the pizza filling off of the
Uh-huh.
pizza and roll it up in lettuce and puts tomatoes up in there. Uh-huh. Okay. And I hadn't
They
thought
do
about it,
that.
but I saw her do that. Uh-huh. But
Hmm. Yeah. So, they would love that. They would really love it. So the next one is, and I have a sample here, and I'm going to send the recipe of the uh, tuna salad or chicken salad wrap.
okay.
And so the tuna salad is just simple to fix. You can get them involved in preparing it the night before, um, and they can wrap it in a veggie a vegetable wrap, like a spinach wrap, and uh, and then just stick it in the refrigerator. All I have to do is just pull it out for the next day, and that you can also have that with veggie chips, uh, with fruit, mangoes, strawberries, and bananas. Okay, so again, that fruit is going to keep them alert and energized. So it's important for them to have the fruit.
So they now have 5 recipes. You gave 5 recipes for the week.
Right.
I think so.
Hmm.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And
So
some
they
of the
have.
sauces that parents can look at is the apple cinnamon sauce. Cinnamon is very good for reducing a lot of inflammation, and uh, it helps reduce your cholesterol levels, your blood sugar levels, and all that. It keep them balanced. It keeps
Well, I
them
just
so
got
that
the I just got the thing that we're running over.
oh,
And
okay.
I want to go into
Yeah,
some of those sometime, like cinnamon, all of those things that we can use.
yeah.
Maybe we could do that next month. We can start looking at that. But
Hmm.
also, when we prepare a dish, I thought it would be wonderful if whatever we prepare from now on, we can invite people to your store when they see
Right.
it. So you would
Yes.
invite them, and then
Hmm.
but not that day. You would invite them for that dish the following week,
Yeah.
because we're shown the following Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, so the fall, whatever you prepare this week, you would be able to invite them in to taste it the following
Hmm.
week. Okay,
Hmm.
the following
Okay.
Tuesday.
Right.
Okay then. Okay then. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. So thank you so much this morning. And I know you were running this morning, and but we were
Yeah,
able
and then
to
plus
do
it
it.
was raining really hard over. It started raining really bad
Oh,
in my
really?
area. So
Mhm. Okay then. Well, thank you so much for preparing all of those, and we know that we're going to have the recipes posted at the end of the show, for
right.
people to take back with them. Okay,
Hmm.
and audience, thank you for being there, my young audience and my more mature audience, parents and such. Thank you for being here. And I want to say this. Remember the enrichment program. Go to our website starting the 15th of this month of September and sign up for the enrichment program that involves cooking classes and all kinds of music and drama and etc. as it relates to mental health and whole body wellness. So I want to say this: renew your beliefs, rebuild faith, and reconnect with families and communities. For it is not the circumstance that you meet; it is the manner in which you respond that determines health, happiness, and success. So I'll see you, and we'll see you next week.
All
Okay,
right.
and have
Thank
a
you.
good one. Bye bye.
You too.